This is Dante Williams, and you're watching Dante's Boxing Nation. Dante's Boxing Nation, what's going on, guys? So the weigh-in just took place today, and the fight is tomorrow. Both fighters made weight. Both fighters had only little to say about the actual fight, which is what I want to actually talk about because I think it's pretty interesting what both fighters said about the fight by way of contrast. When you have one fighter saying, I'm going in there to knock out Donaire, I'm trying to knock him out within the 5th or 6th round, it would be an A+ for me to knock this guy out, right? You got one guy saying this. He's saying he's going for the knockout. He's going to knock out Nonito Donaire. And then you have Nonito Donaire basically saying, this fight is going to end in a knockout. I'll go in there and I'll do my best. It doesn't sound like he has the exact same confidence that Nicholas Walters has. In fact, it can be interpreted as him saying, all I know is somebody getting knocked out. I'm just hoping that it won't be me, right? And you know, this may or may not mean anything when it comes to the actual fight. But to me, it looked like Nicholas Walters had a more intense stare when they did the face-off. Once again, this could mean something or it could mean nothing at all. I mean, keep in mind, when Donaire and Rigo had their face-off, Rigo, he didn't even look at Donaire. So we don't know. But the thing is, we know that Nonito Donaire, he is usually staring dead at his opponent. And he's normally looking very intense and focused. So he could still be focused. It's just Nicholas Walters, he has the look in his eyes like he is more hungry. Like he wants this more. And Donaire, he even said in previous interviews that he's not as hungry as he was before because of his previous accomplishments. You see, when you hear fighters say stuff like this just goes to show you how difficult it is to remain unbeaten, to remain hungry at all times, to deal with adversity. There's going to be times when you have a long career, there's going to be times where you don't feel 100% getting in the ring. There's going to be times where you have a lot of outside distractions going on, right? And then on top of that, you got a guy trying to knock your head off. And you have to still prevail through all of that. That separates a great fighter from just a good champion that could possibly be a Hall of Famer one day. Okay? So we'll see. We'll see what Donaire is made of. Once again, he's getting in the ring with a guy for the first time, I truly believe, that really wants to hurt Donaire. And I think for the first time, Nonito the Flash Donaire just might be intimidated by his opponent. So it'll be interesting, man. It'll be interesting to see what happens. But I'll quote Teddy Atlas and tell you this. A little fear is okay. Actually, a little fear is better than not having any fear at all. Because when you have fear, you don't make as many mistakes. You go in there with no fear, you make all the mistakes in the world and you end up getting knocked out. Okay? So, I can't wait for this fight. As you guys can see, I'm making a video about Nonito Donaire versus Nicholas Walters weigh-in and not really about the Golovkin versus Rubio weigh-in. Because this fight, once again, is far more relevant than a Golovkin versus Rubio fight. Oh yeah, another thing I wanted to add before I end this video is, for the first time since Donaire faced Vic Darchinyan the first time, Nonito Donaire is the underdog in this fight. That's right. Nicholas Walters is actually the favorite to win this fight. So, you know, honestly, I may just go ahead and put a little money down on Donaire just because he's an underdog. But I think that's pretty interesting as well. A lot of things are going against Nonito Donaire when it comes to this fight. A lot of the momentum a lot of the momentum is in Nicholas Walters' favor. Something else Team Donaire said is they plan on using a lot more foot movement in this fight. They plan on moving a little bit more than they did before. I don't know how much that's going to help Nonito Donaire, because Donaire, he doesn't have the defense to go with the foot movement, okay? Donaire is the type of fighter that'll move away from you and still get caught with good shots. I remember when Donaire was fighting against Guillermo Rigo. Rigo had won like the first 5 or 6 rounds, and one of those rounds, maybe the 5th or the 6th round, all of a sudden Donaire, he started moving away from Rigo, trying to outbox Rigo, right? So as Donaire is moving away from Rigo and trying to set a trap, Donaire tries to throw a combination. Guillermo Rigo, he evades the combination, and he catches Donaire with one of the most vicious left hands that he landed in that whole fight, okay? It was one of the highlights of the round, actually. So the point that I'm making is Donaire, even if he uses foot movement, that may actually make things worse for him. I mean, this is do or die for Donaire. I think Donaire's best chance is to just go in there, be as aggressive as possible. Either you're going to get knocked out or you may knock him out. But trying to move away from this guy, I think Nicholas Walters is a better boxer than Donaire. Just because a guy is bouncing around in the ring, that doesn't just automatically make him a good boxer. Moving around the ring also consists of having great defense, great counterpunching ability. So I don't know if that's the best plan for Team Donaire, but we'll see. We'll see what happens tomorrow. That's all I got. I'm on to the next one.